Can you hear me?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
We're still live. Okay, so I'm not sure. So can you let Erin know that we came back on?
Mhm.
And we have an audience each, so remember there that we're recording. So I don't, I think I don't know if anything was heard at the beginning. Do you know?
I didn't hear anything, and Kim told me she didn't hear anything.
Okay. So
Can
can
you
you
see me
rate?
good?
I see you. Can you see me?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so sorry about that, audience. For those of you who are looking in, we've had some technical difficulty here today, this evening. Not sure what quite is going on. We'll see if we can get Erin back on the screen with us. And again, I will reintroduce myself. I am Shemsu-t, the founder and owner of Masterforce. We have been providing Ignite Your Soul Connection, this series, since I think 2011. And we offer it as an opportunity for people to really get present to connecting to their soul. And we find out in our society that if you ask a person, where do you learn about your soul? They may say church. However, church has become a place for us recently, in recent years, where what is available is more about religion and sometimes dogma, and sometimes even worse than that. So a lot of what's needed for the soul has not been taken care of. And you can see that our community is in crisis. And it's in crisis because there's an element of teaching that's missing. And that element is about how to connect to our inner most important aspect of who we are and develop and cultivate that aspect so that we can become the greatest version of ourselves. Now, if it's missing for us as adults, it's also missing for our children, right? So this week, we are talking about the New Earth children. We're talking about the indigos, the rainbows, the crystals, the star seeds, and we don't go into defining those children because we want you to do some of the research too. So you can go to Google, you can go on YouTube, and you can put those terms in, and there's a lot of research, because people have been studying children for a long time. We are the ones in our community that have not taken time to see how valuable our children are to us. And you can see that because we haven't taken time to look at that value, that those children are going away. So we want to take responsibility where we can to reconnect to the children, reconnect to ourselves, reconnect to our families, and then also to nurture and develop our communities. So this week we started off with Timothy Glenn and Ita Debbie Rod talking about the natal charts and the destiny cards, and how important it is to know what the stars were doing and the planets, how they were aligned when your child was born, so that they can actually develop according to the way that the universe wanted them to, instead of the way that society dictates them to be. Because the society's design is not really for the betterment of the soul. It's more designed for the betterment of what? This industrialized society. And we had some wonderful offers. And because this actual process of these programs have been free, one of the ways that you can support this work and to support the work that we do at Masterforce is to, take the offers. check into getting a natal chart done, check into getting a destiny card reading. And this supports the coaches so that they can continue to freely provide services to the community that will actually make a difference for all of us. And then on Tuesday, we had a great conversation with Nene Thompson and Alanda Gregory, and we actually talked about what is true education. And what we say true education is around the conversation to know thyself. Who are you? Now, we believe that if a child is present to knowing who they are and being self-actualized at an earlier age, they will have the opportunity to really provide their gifts to society and make a huge contribution. Right now, we have them following the footsteps of, whatever it is, the protocol in your family or whatever the protocol is for society, again, without checking in with their soul. So we had a wonderful time just really looking at what would a class look like when we were taking care of the children and teaching them how to take care of themselves. And that brings us to tonight. Tonight, we're talking about the healing arts. Now, we're saying that healing is an art because we're gifted with the ability to heal. We literally have everything that we require to heal. Everything. We were gifted with that. However, we have to cultivate that. We have to teach that to ourselves. We have to teach that to our children. We literally have usurped that gift and given that authority of, it's not even healing. We've given the authority of our health to medicine, to the pharmaceutical industries, and they don't heal people. They are not in the business of healing. They are in the business of collecting customers. There's a lot of documentation out there where they will tell you they created a program to have your child hooked on medicine from birth until they die. That's their regiment. That has nothing to do with the work of the soul when I'm telling you that we've been gifted with health. Okay? So now let me introduce to you my actual co-host. I was going to say cohort. Ita, come on in, and then we're going to introduce Erin. Can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself?
There we go. Can you hear me?
There you go. Hey, how are you?
I am great. Very, very, very good. The divine in me is present and joyful.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. Let's see. I'm excited to get started with this conversation and to get started with Erin presenting tonight's topic. When you talk about our health, it's such a beautiful gift. And I am so grateful that we have been inside of doing this work for this period of time together, having the opportunity to be present to ourselves in a conversation of wellness. That's a wealth that actually it's beyond what money can buy.
Yes.
It really is, and it is so beautiful to have this experience. Wow. I want to also, I see that
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when I think about the level of power that we have as individuals, one of the things that I know that we've been focused on creating is a way for us to make sure that we reconnect ourselves at every level. Reconnect ourselves to our avatar, to our soul, to our spirit. We love to utilize our mobile curriculum for doing that. We're going to be sharing that, you know, inside of these conversations that we're having, and we've already been sharing it this week. Also, the academics, the program that we have coming up for our young people this summer. Wonderful, wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful.
Yes, cool. So I think Erin is back. Erin, are you ready to come in? I'd love for you to come in and introduce yourself and get going with this conversation.
Yes, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear?
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I just had to shut everything down. I have no idea what that was. So I really apologize for the delay and, and having you over there delayed as well. Is there any way that you can clean that? You seem a little blurry. Clean your eye on your camera. I'm not sure.
Is that better?
Yeah, it is. Thank you. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little about you and how you got involved in this work, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So my name is Erin, and I got involved in this work just through life experience. Mostly, I was not incarnated into a family that was conscious, so I had to figure a lot of my own happiness and how to take care of myself and be healthy. I had to figure all that stuff out on my own. So in doing research, that just led me to more and more information. And I met you guys on Facebook. I'm not really sure how, but I guess we gravitated to each other. I really couldn't even tell you how I came across your post, but I did. And I've been working with you since 2012, I believe. So I got into the healing arts specifically. Again, just more experience, you know, being born. I was born an indigo child. So a lot of the medications and stuff never really worked for me. Even using certain detergents didn't work for me. So I just it was really trial and error, just figuring out like why I was the only one who seemed so sensitive and irritated by things that nobody else even, it didn't bother anybody else. So instead of looking at it as, I was kind of treated as, you know, why do you have to be the difficult one? You know what I mean?
Yes. Why are you so special?
So, yeah. Why you got to be so different? So instead of me having that perspective, which is what was coming from my environment, I was like, you know, it can't be something wrong with me. Maybe it's something wrong with those things that are bothering me. So I've just been learning a lot. I'm still learning, still practicing, every day getting better with, you know, taking care of yourself, the healing arts, learning how to really fine tune things and figure out what works for you. So currently I'm also an intuitive life coach. That's what my business is based in. And I'm getting more into the healing arts, and I look forward to offering more services around that.
And where do you live, Erin? Where are you located?
Right now I'm in Newark, Delaware.
Okay.
And I was born and raised in Wilmington.
Where is Newark, Delaware? Where is that?
It is where University of Delaware is.
And what's close to there?
That you would know. I mean, 95.
That's terrible. Is that close to New Jersey, Virginia, Washington, D.C.?
We are very centrally located. So if you go 30 minutes north, you're in Philly. If you go 30 minutes east, you're in New Jersey. If you go an hour and a half south, you're in Baltimore. If you go 2 hours south, you're in D.C. In Newark, Delaware, if you go 15 minutes west, you'll be in Maryland. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's very like in the middle of everything.
Well, see, that's helpful because I know I've been to Maryland and I go to New Jersey often. And I've been to Baltimore, so I probably have saw the name. Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in because I know we had that little delay, and I want to see if we can get everything in. And we want to start out by talking about MEPS, the life quadrant, and really looking at how do we actually use MEPS in the treatment of the well-being of children. Icha, do you have something playing in the background? Is there?
No, my fan, I think, is it making some kind of a little noise?
I thought I heard words, but it could be. Don't worry about it. I'll mute you while she's talking.
Okay.
Okay. So did you get the question, Erin? How do we use MEPS inside of the treatment and well-being of children?
Yes. So MEPS stands for, well, MEPS is the life quadrant, and it is a way to holistically heal yourself. So MEPS is MEPS. It stands for mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. And basically, you have to address all four of those quadrants in order to effectively heal any disease or ailment that you may experience. So, like I was speaking of before, you know, being a new earth child, nothing really works that is traditional in the forms of I can't even call it healing, I guess treatment of symptoms, Western medicine. So it is very important, being a newer child or being a parent of a newer child, that you learn about the life quadrant, because it will be essential to you remaining healthy and vital in life. So an example would be, say, if you have a stomach ache, you would have to first ask yourself, you know, you go through each quadrant. So you would ask yourself, you know, mentally, what am I thinking right now? What is my state of mind right now in this moment that I'm having this stomach ache? And then you would ask yourself, you know, emotionally, how am I feeling? Physically, what did I eat today? What was my last meal like? Have I drunken enough water? And then spiritually, you know, am I at peace, or am I, you know, in turmoil inside? So once you ask yourself those questions, then you can begin to address whatever comes up for you. So say mentally, you know, you're thinking about how much work you have to do tomorrow, or, you know, you're thinking about how you're going to find a new job that gives you more money, like anything that is taking your mind out of a natural balanced state. So you go through the four quadrants again, and really, you have to really know yourself to be able to decipher what's going on with you. And if you address those things, those four quadrants, you will be on the path to healing yourself.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
It makes sense, and what's really significant is that most people only deal with the physical side. So
Exactly.
So if my stomach hurts, then the first thing I need to do is to go and take something to make it feel better. So even if I take something to feel better, and I feel better for a little while, I still have not dealt with the mental, emotional, and spiritual things that cause that physical pain. And that's why we have the repetition, because we don't deal with the root cause of the issue. So that makes a lot of sense, Erin. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And it's so cool. When you said that, was when I was a child, when I was like 4 or 5 and in kindergarten, I had a lot of stomach aches. So a lot of times when children are experiencing that, it's because of the environment, right? So a lot of times as parents, we have to check the environment. Icha, did you have something to say about that? Did she hear me? Icha, can you hear me? Is she frozen?
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I was over here. Yes, I was really having a great experience with the way that Erin is sharing and really getting into this life quadrants, being able to utilize this technology to be present to the balance in your life. Mm-hmm. That's what I can hear from what you're sharing. And yes, I'm ready to hear more, Erin. I love how you're sharing. Even though I know you as a coach, it's my first time hearing you share in this way. So it's very enjoyable to me. And I'm grateful to be, holding space inside of this.
Very cool. So Erin, when you actually look at the system and how it's set up, why would you say that it will never effectively take care of the child? Like, it just doesn't work. Why is that true?
I would say that because vibrationally you are just not in alignment with the old antiquated ways of I can't say healing, of treatment of health, especially here in America. I would say it's never going to work for you because no matter what medication that you take, no matter what procedure you get done, you will never feel healthy addressing it in a Western medicine way. Again, I can tell you from personal experience, the only thing that helped me was tapping into these tools that are the healing arts, doing or ingesting things that are more natural, that come from the earth, that treat, that cure you as opposed to treating or masking symptoms. So, as a newer child or as a parent of a newer child, you have to keep this in mind because we are programmed to run to the Walgreens or, run to the doctor. This allergy season has been really bad for a lot of people, and it was particularly bad for me. And everybody said, oh, well, you need to go to the doctor. You should really go to the doctor. Have you made a doctor's appointment yet? And I'm just thinking the whole time to myself, like, I'm not going to the doctor. Like, that's not going to work for me. I already know medication, Benadryl and all of those things, they don't work for me. So what was more effective was, eucalyptus oil, the honey and the cinnamon, ginger were way more helpful than any medication that they could have. Myself since a child, so I already know the routine. So I had to find something different to actually get to the source of why I am allergic in the first place, what I'm allergic to, and how to cleanse my body.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. Well, let's go ahead and transition into the conversation of the healing arts. What are the healing arts? And then I want to look at those and actually, stating about allergies, like how to use the healing arts in dealing with, something as typical as allergies, since so many people have them. So when you say the healing arts, what are you speaking about?
So the healing arts are basically a method that is used to maintain balance in your body. There are tools that you can utilize to maintain balance in your body in a holistic way. So an example would be the Bach flower remedies, the EFT, which stands for emotional freedom tapping. Again, the herbs that I mentioned before, even binaural beats, that's sound healing, acupuncture, acupressure, those types of things that are quote unquote alternative, but they are the original methods of healing.
Yes, very much so. And actually, there's a wonderful a video on YouTube that discusses how the Western medicine and natural medicine, allopathic medicine, were neck and neck at one time. Everybody, most people did choose natural healing until one of the elite families completely invested in Western medicine. And so they started building hospitals and paying for medical schools. And that's when your alternative medicine went into the background, and we do know that a lot of doctors have been killed because of the alternative medicine solutions, right? Right?
Yes, I do remember seeing that in the news. I guess maybe it's gaining too much traction. Like you said, Western medicine is very profit-based. All of the tiers kind of feed each other. The pharmaceutical companies pay the doctors to prescribe their medication. It's unfortunate that it results in people's lives being lost, but that should be further evidence to people that it's something that they don't want you to know because it is the better thing for you. Very cool.
So now let's talk about allergies and how we would use the healing arts with that. If you were working with a client and they said that they had allergies, what is one of the first things that you look for as a clue to how to create a protocol for them?
The first thing I would look at is food. Like, what are you eating? What kind of diet do you have? Typically, meat and dairy tend to be the biggest triggers for allergies. I would definitely recommend detoxing first and foremost. And then once you start to integrate food back into your daily routine, I would recommend that you at least go 30 days without the dairy and the meat and the processed foods, just to see how your body reacts, to see what it is that is actually triggering the allergies for you. Those would be the main things that I would recommend. And then along the way, to treat your symptoms, like I said, there are things that you can utilize, like the herbs and teas and different concoctions that you can mix together that will be effective for you.
So do you use Louise Hay to look at the root cause, the emotional cause of allergies? Have you ever looked at that?
Yes. So Louise Hay says that allergies are caused by being irritated by either people or situations, any type of irritation that you experience in life. Anything that brings you irritation is the emotional trigger for your allergies.
And so, because that's one of the things, one of the items that we like to use is Louise Hay, and you can actually purchase Louise Hay, online too. I think they have it now as an ebook, but at one point you could get it as an app, so I have it as an app on my phone. And a lot of times people call and just ask me to look it up. But I just want to read this so that people can get an idea. So it says the probable cause is, who are you allergic to? And also denying your own power. So who are you allergic to and denying your own power? So a lot of times people will think that it's an external process when actually it's something in me that has triggered that. So, it's you, even if we go through the food and everything, which I think we should anyway, that's, because it'll keep us present to high quality nutrition, but also to look at, where am I denying my power?
Exactly. I can say for me, like I said, I had allergies very early on, and for me, it was irritation. You know, we all choose the lives that we incarnate into, so I'm not complaining or blaming or judging anyone, but
Yeah.
I was very much irritated by my childhood. Just, I guess, like you said, not being in your own power. You know, it was very, you know, I grew up in the age where, you know, children are to be seen and not heard, and your opinions don't matter, and do it because I said so, and all of those things. So um I felt like my opinion mattered, you know, but other people around me didn't. So that would be irritating. Or I would feel like, you know, I want to enjoy life, but other people around me might be overprotective. So I couldn't do the things that children naturally do a lot of the time. So that would bring the irritation. And then just feeling powerless, like I had no way out of it. I had no alternative, led to me not being able to stand in my own power.
Yeah. And then what's your card, Erin? What's your destiny card? And what's your birth card?
I am a Queen of Diamonds.
Mm-hmm. And then what's your astrological card? I
A
mean,
3 of Clubs.
and you're a Taurus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're a queen, and you're a queen as a child. And I think the queen's age, what's the queen's age?
Let's look here. Oh my goodness. Girl, you know, I'm over here with the book. Like, you better talk about it, Erin. It's so cool. I'm looking up her age now. The Queen of Diamonds would have to be what? Let's see.
I think it's 20. Is it 25?
I think that is the
No,
solar.
no.
Oh no, that's not. That's the Queen
That's
of
the club.
Clubs. Yeah, Queen of Clubs is 25. The Queen of Diamonds would be what, 13? Let's see here. 38, I think. Wait, 30, something like that.
Yeah, I think it is 38. So
Yeah.
is that, yeah. So did you just make 38 or 39, Erin?
I just turned 33, actually.
Oh, okay.
Good. So
Okay.
you're in your Jesus years.
Yes. I have the Christ card for this year.
That's
cool. That is cool. The children that are
30, the Queen of Heart, the Queen of Diamond.
Yeah, those children, like you said, they're little adults. That's the queen energy. And so from the time of being a child, as an adult, can you imagine that? Of course you can. You have some children that came here as adults, Shemsu-t and Erin. I know that you are familiar with doing this work, so you know what it looks like to nurture and support children that come here in that adult energy.
And so inside of the Queen of Diamond, as a child, you really were not a child. And the people around you could not hear you and take in your wisdom. So it would be natural that you would have allergies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it would be natural as a child, and as you get older, now you have to release that pattern, and that's what you've taken on. So that's what's very cool about doing the work on yourself, is because when it came up, you said, oh no, I'm not going to choose to do that. I'm now going to take on, healing myself and taking on my power. That's really powerful, Erin. It's really powerful. Yeah, I love that.
It is indeed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up about allergies, because a lot of people are dealing with it as though it's something they have to do the rest of their life.
Yes.
So say more about that.
I mean, I think it's unfortunate because, because we have this information, like, you always want to like scream at people, like, you don't have to do this, like, you don't have to take all that medication. And like, there's a young girl at my childcare facility that is on so much medication. Like her eyes are distant. She has eczema like all over her body, and it's just really sad to see. But I mean, it's programming. It just goes back to the programming. You know, that's all a lot of people know. That's all a lot of people resort to, especially when they're in a state of fear. Like, you know, if you have nasal congestion, you're like, I can't breathe. Or if you have asthma and you're like, I can't breathe, you just want to be able to breathe and to be able to feel better. And a lot of people only think of Western medicine when it comes to that, as opposed to getting to the source. Like, it's not an ongoing condition that you have to suffer through forever. Like, there are ways to heal that.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of the things, and you said it before, aromatherapy, essential oils, you know, that's probably the easiest things to keep around at home, you know. So what would be some of the things as parents that you would suggest that they have on hand for their children who are new earth children? Is there like a what you would call, what could we call it, a you know, you have your emergency basket or healing kit. Yeah, what would you suggest that parents have on hand for those urgent moments, like if a flare-up of eczema or a flare-up of allergy or something that's kind of common for children?
Okay, that's interesting because I have my own little allergy pack. So in my personal pack, I have some of the eczema. Shea butter works. Coconut oil works to an extent. In times like this, when it's the summertime, it can be too heavy. You definitely want to have a drier rash. Like, the drier your rash is, the more it will become less inflamed.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely say just put a little bit of shea butter, maybe like at nighttime, for eczema. Also have the honey and cinnamon. That is very anti-inflammatory. The turmeric, you can even, I have powder that I mix into my tea, but you can get the pills if that works better for you. Eucalyptus oil is very good because it's something that you can carry around. You can keep it in your purse. You can just pull it out if you feel your nose starting to get congested. Don't wait until it's completely blocked. Like, when you first feel it starting to flare up, you can pull it out, you know, take a couple of sniffs through each nostril, and that works quickly, and it's something you can do anywhere. What else do I have? I have ginger tea. That is anti-inflammatory as well. It's also good for your immune system, which is the foundation of allergies. Like, your immune system is weakened, which is why you have inflammation. So that really helps, just drinking ginger tea. You can drink it hot, you can drink it cold. There's also a decongestant recipe that I found, and it's cayenne pepper, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and honey, I believe. And you mix it together, and you take 1 tablespoon a day, and it'll clear all of the mucus from everything. Eucalyptus oil also works really well for asthma when you have the inflammation in your lungs. That's what's in my personal pack. I mean, there's so many different things out there. Like, you really could, I mean, I can go on and on. But
I know, right? Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah, I would just say start there, and then, you know, you can do trial and error and see what works best for you.
I know when my children were growing up, I kept some of the same things you said, and I also kept chamomile tea on hand because it's an antihistamine. And so if they had an allergic reaction to a bee bite or something like that, we would make the chamomile tea, and we would take the tea bag and put it on the sting or put it on the eyes or whatever, and it would work really well. We also kept Bach flower rescue remedy. the spray because it would be so calming on the nervous system. And matter of fact, everybody in the family had their own rescue remedy. And even when my son went to the Marines, he actually took it with him, and it got him through boot camp. Right. So rescue remedy was one of those. And then lemon. Lemon is just so antibacterial, and it's also calms the stomach, and it gets all the yuck stuff out of the belly.
Nice.
What were you thinking, Icha? You sound like you had something to add on to that.
Yes, I love this conversation about creating your own kit. When you shared that, Erin, I just had such a vision. I have a shelf on my in my cupboard, and on that shelf, I keep those types of things. And I know you're going to talk some about high quality nutrition, but the things that I eat, it's like food and nurturing, support for my body. So like you said, I have my cinnamon up there, my powdered turmeric is up there, and the honey, and those items are up there. I also keep some fresh turmeric on hand too. I keep it in my freezer, fresh turmeric and fresh ginger. I keep both of those in the freezer because I like to grate them up into my beverages. Sometimes I just grate them up with some hot water and that's it. I was loving the way that they taste mixed together, with different, like with the tea or with lemon, lime, different things. And even the essential oils. Peppermint has been one that has been on my, to be list, because I would have it everywhere. Keep it in my handbag, keep one, in the bathroom for freshening the mouth and healing the mouth as well. So just wanted to just be present to that. I love what you're sharing. I wanted to just reiterate that. Create your own, cupboard or kit that both actually, have the cupboard at home and, have the kit ready to be with you where you are.
Yeah, that's really great. Erin, I want to, all three of us to have a conversation about what it may look like to us to assist young people in a detox, and the importance of that. Why would we want to detox our children? And what is it that we're looking for in that detox? And we, each and I both can add to that, but what would why don't you start us off inside of the importance of detoxing our children,
Okay, it's important to detox for anyone, but especially for children since they're still growing and their bodies are still building itself. Because even if if you have high nutrition as your lifestyle, there are other environmental factors that can bring toxins into your body. For example, the microwaves, not just from a microwave oven, but in the air, the radio waves from the phones, the Wi-Fi waves, the power lines, chemtrails. I mean, like
yes,
there's so much.
Especially chemtrails. Yes, you guys Google chemtrails because it's real.
And pollution in the air, the carbon monoxide or dioxide, I'm sorry. There are so many different ways that your body is being attacked that it's essential, if you want to stay healthy, that you need to release those toxins, and not just once. Like I would recommend doing it at least 4 times a year. If you want to keep track of it, you can do it when the seasons change. For example,
like today, now.
First day of summer, time for a detox. And it's really, I mean, you can look at it like, if you have a car after a certain point, you have to get the system flushed out. People get colon cleanses. It's a way to keep up the maintenance of your body.
Yeah. What would you add to that, Ija?
I would say I could absolutely speak on summer being such a great time to get into it with your children, to start to get them ready for this high quality nutritive lifestyle, because the summer makes it more fun. Everywhere that we are in the summertime, you have a bunch of fresh fruit available. So with all of that fresh fruit available, you can be very creative. You can make popsicles out of just ground up fruit mixed with juice or just the fruit. It may be liquidy enough itself to make your popsicles. You can also have your grapes. You can freeze your grapes. That's fun. Or freeze your berries and different things like that. And it's a cool little something to put in the mouth, you know. Oh, a frozen berry. Nice. You know, has a nice, it's fun for children, you know, to have different ways of being inside of nutrition. And so that's one of the things that we really want to make sure to let them know it is fun. You know, to be in life and to be empowered and to be yourself. Part of being yourself, being healthy and balanced in your avatar, right? So I'm pointing over there like, yes, let's get some watermelon popsicles. That's what I'm talking about, you know, with some fresh coconut or something.
Yeah. That's really great. You know, so, you know, for people listening to us, it would be really easy to create like a 3-day fruit fast in your household for your children. And if there had to be a substance, you can use soup as your evening meal, you know, because sometimes children be like, I didn't eat today, you know, so you can make soup and you can use quinoa instead of rice, you know, something a little bit more, you know, it's, first of all, soup has some protein in it. I mean, quinoa has protein, so it gives a little bit more substance. But when you do the fruit in the morning, it'll go out of the system easier. So it's not going to be any bread or meat or pasta, anything like that. Because when you're detoxing, you really want to rest the digestive system and you want to cleanse the colon, right? You want to cleanse the colon. So you don't want to put anything heavy in there. So, you know, Icha talked about the watermelon and you know, you can make some really great sun teas. You all know what sun tea is, right? Make some really great sun tea where you put the tea bags in the water. You put alkaline water. So you want to use alkaline water in your detox, right? So you use the alkaline water and you put it outside in a big jar, and you can add your honey if you want to, make it raw. And then you let the sun kind of get that vitamin D in there. And, you know, you serve that as part of your detox, you know. So children are playing so much. I mean, we used to, do you all know how much we used to be outside in the summer? I don't know about you, but I was outside in the summer.
Yes. Very crispy.
Yes, yes.
You know, so when children are playing, they're not worried about eating, you know. But really, there's a lot of research out there, and I really suggest that you do at least a 3-day detox. And I'm like Erin, I detox 4 times a year with the solstice and with the equinox, so that I know that I'm switching over in the seasons. And it could be as simple as fruit smoothies, you know, really just to rest the digestive system. But it will help you get rid of parasites. If you have parasites, there's black seed, there's walnut that will kill them and flush them out, you know. And then for heavy metals, you can use baking soda, just a little bit of baking soda, like a half a teaspoon in a cup of water. You got to stir it until it's clear. Or you can do diatomaceous, what is it, Icha?
Diatomaceous earth.
Thank you. Say it again, please.
Diatomaceous.
We're
I
so
want the
funny.
people. I want the people to hear it. I mean, you know.
Yes, diatomaceous earth.
Okay, I just say DE, but
Yes, DE. Yes, that's easier.
that's easier. But if they want to Google it, I want them to know what they're looking for. So that's really, really a great substance to help get metals out of your body. So if your child has been on any type of medicine, their liver is being compromised. So the detox helps to get heavy metals out of the liver and the kidney. If you let the liver and the kidney get into such a bad way, it really begins to shut down the system. So anything else, guys? I just really want to encourage people to detox with their children this summer so that they can be healthy.
I mean, I would just say, I agree with Isha to just find fun ways to incorporate new things into your diet. I know a lot of kids tend to not want to eat healthy. So you might encounter some resistance, and that's natural. That's what most kids do. So I think, you know, summer is a good time because when it's warmer, you tend not to eat heavy anyway. So it might be easier to incorporate more fruit into your diet, to, you know, drink more water, you know, to not want to eat the heavy things like the pasta and the bread.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So did you notice any trends in food that started with the New Earth Children? Did you make that connection at all?
Besides like vegetarian and vegan.
Oh, I meant the more toxic things.
Oh,
Like the high fructose corn syrup and the red dye and the blue dye. I mean, that came in with you guys. And it was almost like they knew that these New Earth children were coming in and they had to do something to, you know, slow them down.
yes. I mean, children are definitely being attacked. When it comes to food, like the high fructose corn syrup, the sodas, the chips, like they make chips that aren't even like, it's some Franken food. Like, I don't even know what it is, or like, what's that Burger King commercial with the mac and cheese, or cheese mac and Cheetos or something? Like, that's not even real food, but I'm sure every kid that sees that commercial is like, I want to try it. So you definitely, I mean, again, that should be further evidence for you as a parent to know that it's very important what your kids eat, and that what is being presented to them is not the best thing for them, because there is so much programming that is anti high quality nutrition. So I mean, it's just really like, I can't stress enough. I mean, it's definitely something that has been a challenge for me, which is why I focus so much on ingesting the healthiest thing that I can, because I know the importance of it, and I know how I was raised and how it was ingrained to, you know, I mean, I don't even think I really thought about it as a child. What I was eating, as long as it tastes good, like that was the most important thing to me. So re-educating your kids about, you know, like fruit really does taste good. And I think a lot of kids haven't even tried fresh fruit, like it's canned or it's frozen. So just reintroducing them to like real actual food. I think you might be surprised at how much they actually do like it.
It's so interesting. I was, you know, I was one of the golden indigos that came in, so I was kind of rebellious with my family. I remember going to take a class. I took a class in Islam, and one of the things that they told us to do was to go home and take a piece of pork and put it in a jar, a piece of raw pork, and just, you know, just take a piece and put it in a jar, put a lid on it, and then just put it in the cabinet in a dark place. and come back in a few days and look at it. And, you know, I'm curious. I think I was 13 or 14 when I took that class. And nobody invited. I mean, I took it on my own because it was offered. Right? And so I did. I put the jar up there. The next, you know, couple of days later, I came and looked at it, and it was full of worms. I mean, whoa. And I mean, in that moment, I quit eating pork. I quit, bam, cold turkey, right? And, you know, I didn't make an announcement or anything. I just quit eating it. I just, you know, did not eat that. And my grandmother, around Thanksgiving that year, you know, I said, my job was to clean the chitlins, you know, and I said, I'm not going to eat any chitlins. And she said, I don't care if you don't eat any chitlins, you're going to still have to clean them. You know? And so I still had to clean the chitlins. I mean, and, you know, it was such a hard thing to do. And I had so much a sense of rightness that I still did it to the best of my ability to get every little black spot out of there. It was really crazy. But that was when I literally became anti-meat more and more, but definitely, you know, anti-pork at that time. So children now are actually coming out of the womb not wanting meat.
Yes,
so when you talk
true.
about the veganism and being vegetarians, you know, some of us didn't have choices. You just weren't going to get food.
Yes.
So now how did you transition into that for yourself?
So I would say the first thing was pork for me as well. My father's side of the family has a lot of heart disease. A lot of them have passed away from heart disease. So my father always emphasized that he didn't eat pork for that reason. And he recommended that I also stop eating pork just because he didn't want me to go down that same road. And I guess he could catch me early enough to where it would actually be effective. So I stopped eating pork, I think when I was 12 or 13. And then that transitioned into, well, it was interesting because when I got to high school, we had to do sports all 3 seasons. So I was very fit physically, like for the first time in my life. So that was a milestone for me physically, not so much with the food, because I was in North Carolina and there's lots of barbecue and all types of things that I just didn't want to eat. So I kind of had to, you know, if you have school lunch, you know, you eat what's there or you don't eat. So, but at least physically, that was a milestone. And then I went to college and it was lots of fast food, to the point where I gained about, I don't know, like maybe 50 pounds.
50? I did the freshman 10. Did you say 50?
I mean, between the time I started college to the time I was like a year into working a full-time job within that time frame.
And that was from junk food.
Yes, from junk food, from you know, the bags of, I guess, rice or pasta where you just put it in the pot and warm it up, or like the frozen pasta that comes in the bag and you put it in the skillet. Just not real food. And I didn't know any better, you know, that's how I was raised. But once I gained all that weight and eventually I actually had to have my appendix removed, and that really woke me up. Like, I really have to reevaluate everything that I'm doing. So since then, I was vegetarian for about 2 or 3 years. And then I got to a point where things changed for me financially. I was unemployed for a while, so I was relying on other people to provide food for me. So I couldn't really eat the way that I wanted to. So now I'm finally at a point where I'm so happy. I manifested I really wanted. I really put it into the universe, and I really wanted to find a grocery store or somewhere I can buy groceries that had like locally grown fresh farm food.
Oh, wow.
And I found one, and it made such a huge difference for me, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So now that's all I eat. And I have to drive 30 minutes to get there.
Oh,
And it's worth it. Like, it's so worth it. Everybody I talk to, I'm like, you gotta shop there. Don't go to Acme. I know they have organic stuff, but it's nothing compared to the place that I go to. Like, you can look at it and tell the difference. So
go ahead and talk a little bit about high quality nutrition. When you're talking about high quality, what are the parameters for you?
for me, high quality nutrition is pretty simple. You want to keep things as simple as possible. So if you can grow something in the ground, no pesticides, no chemical fertilizers, you can take it from the ground, take it into your kitchen, chop it up or warm it up and eat it. That's the best. That's the highest quality nutrition that you can get. I know. I think that it's becoming more and more accessible. I definitely see a lot more companies emphasizing that they're organic or they're pesticide free or GMO free and things like that. So, but even if you can't find a store that's near you, you can always grow things for yourself in your house.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more videos talking about how to regrow vegetables. So that's something to research. It's a lot easier to regrow the ones that you purchase that are organic.
Right, from the scraps. And there's also a big permaculture movement right now that can teach you like how to have crops that assist each other nutritionally, that don't strip the soil, how to plant things in different places that will make your garden more effective for the long run. So there's lots of information out there.
You're recommending that everybody get their own backyard garden going, huh?
Well, I mean, if you grow the lettuce and I grow the tomatoes, then we can both eat a salad. You know what I mean? So
yes. I love that idea. Icha, what would you say is more on the high quality nutrition as well?
Oh, wow. I love what you're saying, Erin. So I want to just acknowledge that part first. I love what you're saying. And I have a bag of seeds that I am going to work with. I have some spring mix that I can grow some little lettuces. So I'm going to work with that. And a next level that I can see for high quality nutrition is alkaline water, fresh local fruits and vegetables, and as much sunlight as you can. And I include sunlight as part of the high quality nutrition as well, because the sunlight helped my body to be able to turn everything into what it needs to be. So as I take the food in, I eat it, then I get that sunlight, and now everything is in there working together.
Very cool.
Yeah, and nuts and seeds. If you have access to nuts and seeds, those I enjoy also, and that would be a part of what I consider my high quality nutrition.
Yes, I love that you said the alkaline water, because that's if you get alkaline water, it will really help to balance out, your entire body. And especially as you get older, it helps to take out the pain in your joints. It's just really recommended that we really begin to have high quality water for our children. And Erin, you can talk a little bit about how the tap water calcifies the pineal gland. Do you have some?
Yes. So there is, among other things, there is fluoride in I believe all tap water. There may be a few states that have outlawed it. I have seen articles about that. And fluoride calcifies your pineal gland, and that is the seat of your soul. So if it's calcified, you don't have access to that side of you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to detox or cleanse your pineal gland if it has been partially calcified, or you just want to keep it healthy. So being alkaline and being oxygenated is the best thing for your body. Disease and toxins can't exist in that environment. So the closer you can get to that state, the more healthy you will be. And that includes the pineal gland. Definitely don't drink the tap water. I wouldn't recommend it at all.
Very cool. And you know, there's some reports that they're starting to put fluoride in bottled water.
Yes, I saw that also.
Yeah, so you know, we have to become very diligent. Again, you actually said it, Erin, we're under attack, children especially. So we as parents, you know, we really do have to slow down enough to make sure that the nutrition is handled, because that is where they're getting taken out at.
Yes.
Very cool. So, you know, since we started talking about the pineal gland, I love that you said it's the seat of the soul. How would you include the MARV technique inside of the healing process for New Earth children, or optimal health even? Yeah.
So MARV is MARV, and it stands for meditation, affirmation, relaxation, and visualization. It's essentially it's how the law of attraction works. I know a lot of people have heard of the law of attraction or heard of The Secret. So basically, when you want to create things or manifest things into existence in your life, there's a process like that you go through. You put it out into the universe. You set your intentions. You make it known what specifically it is that you want, and you have to be as detailed as possible or as specific as possible. And then once you've set your intentions, you meditate. So it's kind of like you release it, like you've asked for it and now you've let it go. You step back, you've stepped into a space of receiving. You know it's already done, and that's the meditative state that MARV is referring to. And of course, you can do like literal meditation to help you achieve that state of mind. The affirmations are a way of helping you maintain that state of mind as well. If you tell yourself repetitively that, you know, everything is going to be okay, or I'm going to receive this certain amount of money, or whatever your intention was, you repeat affirmations to yourself to stay to reassure yourself that it will actually manifest, and to encourage yourself, support yourself in that space while you are patiently waiting for nothing.
Yes.
So the R stands for relaxation, and again, that's the letting go. You know, you don't want to keep asking the universe the same question over and over. You don't want to say, oh, I know it's going to happen, but, you know, what if it doesn't? You know, you want to relax into the process and completely be in a state of allowance to let the universe work its magic in its own divine timing, and know that it's going to come to pass. And then visualization it's a technique that will tune you into the vibration of what your intention is. So you visualize yourself achieving that goal. So if it's having a healthier diet, you would visualize yourself, you know, walking into the store and it being full of fresh produce, and you always having enough money to buy the high quality foods that you want, and you feeling great the whole time that you are shopping. It's exciting. You're happy. You're driving home. Maybe your favorite song comes on the radio. Just maintaining that high state of happiness, and seeing the script play out of what it is that you want. And the more details that you can put into your visualization, the more you feel yourself energetically tap into that vibration. So then you get home and you're happy, you're chopping it up and you're dancing in the kitchen, and you really want to play it out like a movie in your mind. So yes, that's Marv. So the New Earth children, that would be effective. I mean, it's effective for anything, any goal, any desire that you have. Even if you're a parent and you want to really be the best parent for your New Earth child, you can apply Marv to that goal as well. So it's really it's a fun tool to have, and it's really vital to making your dreams come true.
That's really great, Erin, and thank you. That's actually one of the tools that we will be teaching this summer in our ACES program. So I'm excited to see the young people walk away with that. Ita, what were you over there beaming about? Were you?
The joy, man, the joy of knowing this work, and the joy of being present to everything. I just have a song that's just so okay.
Was that the song?
That's not my song. Girl,
I thought you were about to play.
I wrote a song about it. Want to hear it?
Want to hear it?
Want to hear it? Here it go. I have such a song, and what I mean by that is that I could just I'm holding my solar plexus, my solar plexus, and I'm breathing with myself, because I feel so much joy for the work that we have been able to be present to each other with, and because of that work, ACES. ACES. Yeah. ACES is Academics Creates Exceptional Students.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I was beaming about, because I can feel everything that's relative to ACES. Yeah. So that's what.
Yeah,
and it was in what Erin was saying.
Yeah, it's so cool, because the power to empower children with the Marv technique, like you're saying, gives them the opportunity to know at a young age that they can create anything that they want. And what we have to realize is, and I want you to speak a little to this, how television actually interrupts that process. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes. So I've mentioned how we experience programming in other ways. So television, first and foremost, we all like to be entertained, but television should not be your primary source of entertainment. It's not really educational. It doesn't really add value to your life. Like, yes, you might like these certain TV shows or movies, but it doesn't enrich your soul, doesn't necessarily make your life better or more valuable, or even make you happier. A lot of times it's just a distraction, and a lot of times people do it out of boredom. And then what's actually on TV, the content of the shows, it's very anti-enlightened. I don't know if that's a word, but
we can make up our own words, okay? So.
Yeah, it's anti-enlightened because it not only does it not give you what you need mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, but it takes you in the opposite direction. Like a lot of times, if I happen to watch a show like Real Housewives of wherever, a lot of times after 5 minutes, I'm angry, and I wasn't angry before, but because they're on there, excuse me, because they're on there and they're screaming and they're fighting and they're making illogical decisions, you know, it makes me angry to see that energy, you know, as an empath, like that rubs off. And that's an important point for New Earth children, because we are, for the most part, all empaths and are susceptible to that energy, even if it's on a TV screen or on the radio, you know, lyrics that talk about being frivolous, or objectifying things or people, you know, we're susceptible to that energy. So it's very important to be mindful of not just the food you eat. You have to be mindful of everything that comes into your space. So even if it's the food that you eat, even if it's the people that you're around, if it's the shows that you're watching, if it's the music that you're listening to, it all affects your vibration. It all affects your energy. So if you want to be a peaceful, more balanced person, then you have to only feed yourself peaceful and balanced things.
Yeah, and that goes back to what you started off with the life quadrant, talking about, you know, really looking at what am I taking in mentally? You know,
Yes.
what am I responding to emotionally? What am I feeding myself physically? How am I nurturing myself spiritually? I mean, if we just really look at that life quadrant on a daily basis, we would find more balance, because you know, it's like put a limit to the television. You don't have to turn it off completely. I know when my children were growing up, they had 2 hours of television. That was a limit. And then when my oldest son started playing Nintendo, it was like, you're going to have to share that time with your Nintendo. You don't get to sit for hours and hours and hours playing games. But we also participated. We did have dinner together on a regular basis. We played games. We went to parks. We went on picnics. We participated with each other. So there has to be a willingness. And who was talking about this? It was last night. Where they were speaking on, I think Nene was saying in Atlanta that children, I haven't talked to so many people recently, but children,
yes.
Children just want time with their parents. They want to be seen by their parents. They want to be acknowledged and appreciated. They want to know that they're wanted in the space of love with the parents. So, you know, for us to use television as a babysitter is not going to work. It's not. So, you know, again, that's going back to old school. Turn it off, especially during the summer. Go do something.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yes. So before we finish up here, I know that we're getting to some time, but we still giving our time for the breakdown. I want you to share a little bit more about the Bach flower remedies.
Okay. So the Bach flower remedies are another tool of the healing arts. They are basically, is it Robert Bach? Is that his name?
Yeah, I think
okay. So
Edward.
Dr. Bach.
Dr. Edward
Dr. Bach.
Dr. Bach.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bach took some time to identify which flowers influence which emotional states. And I know Isha went into it in a little bit more detail on another video earlier this week. So if you take these, it usually comes in, well, the ones that I've seen have come in like a liquid.
Tinctures.
It's a liquid in a bottle.
Yeah.
Tinctures, yes. Okay. So you have your dropper, and you just put a couple of drops underneath your tongue, or you can put it in a glass of water. And the Bach flower remedies will help you to get more into a balanced state depending on what you're experiencing emotionally at that time. So you mentioned the rescue remedy. That's a great one because it kind of addresses everything. It's also useful for ascension symptoms, which is probably a common thing for New Earth children. A lot of the times you can feel out of whack and out of balance, and you can't really pinpoint what exactly is the cause of it. And most of the time that's what it is. I know I've experienced a lot in the past few months. So rescue remedy, I would definitely recommend that everybody has, especially if you're a parent with a child. Even if the child gets injured, it's good for that as well. So you can, if you can probably go to the website. That'll probably be the easiest thing, and see the different emotional states that the remedies address, and then see which one that you feel like you need. And definitely, give it a try. Yes, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Ito, you want to say more on that? Because I know you actually did this as an expert project when you were first certified. You want to say add a little bit more to?
Yes. You know what? It just occurred to me that Dr. Bach had to be some kind of a scout of some sort, I would say. And what I mean specifically by that,
a starseed, right?
A starseed, yes.
Yes.
What I mean specifically by that is that he took himself, or he could feel these different states of being, and he was able to feel the vibrational energy of those plants. He was able to communicate with them, basically. And what's really great about that is that it is a system that is meant to bring you to yourself, because it's not that you would come to anyone and they tell you, go get this one. You go to where they are and you start to, everywhere that they sell them, they have little booklets. And I mean, everywhere that they sell them, they got the little booklets, and they'll tell you all the 8 different states and the different ones that's inside of all of those ones. And just whichever one is the one or the two, whatever, those are the ones that you will feel drawn to, and you will be able to experience that fullness from going through that whole process. So it's an opportunity to get yourself, into realizing, oh, okay, then, all right, this stuff really does work. What's great about it, pets, children, works for both. Safe, absolutely safe for both. They have the tinctures that are made with glycerin, so that it would be perfectly safe for children. And you can dilute it in water, and that could be their high quality, nutritional, vibrational water. And what kid wouldn't like to drink, this is my special wildflower vibration water? Come on.
I had never heard that high vibration water. I agree, though. Yeah. And the only thing that I would add to that, Erin said, go to the website. So the website, and we'll make sure that we post this in on the page, but it's bachflower.com, I believe, or either Bach Flower Remedy, whatever. And I remember for my children, I remember my daughter, when I first started using Bach flower, she had to be about 6 or 7 years old. And this was before Google. But I did go on, I was a computer person. I did do a search on how to stop children from whining. And that's how I got introduced to Bach flower. Right? Because I didn't know about it. And it was like whining children. And there was a remedy, and it was larch. And if you look, and on every bottle, it gives you a description of what it's good for. So it said something about confidence for large. And I mean, I put it in her water. I didn't tell her it was high vibrational water. I just put it in the water and told her to drink it. And the next day, she started talking like a grown woman. And she'd been talking like a grown woman ever since. And I remember thinking, what happened? You know? I mean, and so that's thing powerful. Is very powerful, because the thing about and my oldest son is always reminding me of this, because I just, if I'm at your house eating and I see some Bach flower, I just want to take some. And he said, Mom, it's most effective when it's addressing a soul quality that you're ascending into. Like Erin said, it's part of the ascension process. So if my soul is blocked, and again, my daughter was being blocked in her sense of confidence, so that's why it works so quick. So, you know, that's good. So as parents, you know, it's only 38. Is it 38 or 36 each?
38.
Yeah. So it's 38 different remedies. But if your child wet the bed, you can do a search on it. If your child stutters, you can do a search on, I mean, it's so many, and it'll tell you if they have stress, anxiety, it's good. You know, they have things for, you know, prior to testing, for test anxiety. So you can actually have, you know, over time, all of the Bach flower remedies, so that anything come up, you can have it. I use walnut all the time for myself, because it's about being able to do what you want to do without caring about what anybody else say.
I love that. I love that.
And that's how indigos roll, right? Right, Erin?
Yes.
Indigos roll.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, and then the last one, tell us, no, it's two more actually. Binaural beats. How would we use binaural beats?
Binaural beats is it's a tool for sound healing. There are many different tools for sound healing. Drumming is a common one. But binaural beats are, it's not really music. I guess it's a set of tones and pitches that are tuned to a certain frequency to address certain issues that you're experiencing. They actually do have a lot of them for different allergy symptoms you might be experiencing, but you can find one for any type of issue that you're experiencing. If you have headaches, if you can't sleep, if you have trouble focusing, like there are so many. So YouTube is a good source. If you type in binaural beats, BINURAL.
AURAL. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. If you type that into YouTube and then type the symptom that you're experiencing, I'm sure you'll find a bunch of videos that you can sit and listen to. A lot of them are a little bit longer, so I would say definitely it's not something that you can do you know, while you're sitting at your desk at work. But definitely, you know, make the time to sit and listen to the entire recording and make note of how you feel afterwards. But it's definitely effective.
And that's interesting, Erin. I would say if with your earphones on, you can listen to binaural beats at work, because
Really?
Yeah, well, it doesn't, because and even subliminals, because there's no words. You know,
right? But I know for me personally, like I just get so much in the zone, like I'm not working anymore at that point.
I got it. I was gonna say, because I use them all. It depends on the subject, right? Because I use binaural beats all the time in the background. It's always playing, but not something. It's not a tone if I'm going to sleep, you know. But a lot of times I'll play them for healing my eyes, you know, healing myopia, whatever that is in the eyes. So if I'm using the computer a lot, I'll play that with my earphones on, you know, so But
Gotcha.
but I work for myself, so I can be in the zone.
Oh man, I'll get there. I'll get there one day.
We don't want you to have those on with the children and they're calling your name and you off someplace.
I want them to listen to it. I wish I could play that word.
Oh yeah. And then the last one is EFT.
EFT is emotional freedom tapping or emotional freedom technique.
Yep. Yes.
It's basically using the affirmations that I mentioned before. There are different affirmation. Like I said, there's a video for every type of issue you might be experiencing. But say, for example, one that I used a lot was, I guess, fear of lack. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but basically I used to be very worried about, am I going to have enough money? Am I going to have enough time? Am I going to make it through this? What's going to happen? So, there are different points on your body that you can tap. And you do everything in a repetitive, motion. So you repeat the affirmations while you are tapping on different points on your body. And you would be surprised, like immediately you get back into a state of balance. And it's really it's something that you have to experience and try for yourself to really understand just how effective it is at snapping yourself out of that imbalanced state of mind and that imbalanced way of thinking, and just really refocusing your thoughts in a more positive way and reassuring yourself and getting that spiritual support that you really need.
Yeah, that's really great. That's also one of the techniques we'll be teaching the young people in ACES this summer. Yeah,
Yes.
And so we have quite a few series coming out. Ita, did you have some more to say on the EFT?
I love the emotional freedom technique. Shemsu-t, we've been doing this for quite some time, and we would even do it as a circle, a group of us would do it, and we've done it together many times with the coaches over series, periods of times, like a summit. Even we've done that together with each other over periods of time, and just being able to have the young people do the tapping and saying positive affirmations over themselves and over their life and their own purpose. That is really something to be very excited about, because what is really great about all of this is that, number one, you can do your own research, and then number two, it will give you an opportunity to observe what happens, because it's the thing, it's not important in any way that you believe anything at all. What is really priceless about this is you will have an opportunity to see the result, and it'll be clear.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that my person really appreciates the EFT is because there are times when there's resistance to something, that you have to go and do something, and you just don't want to do it, and you can literally tap yourself into going to do something that that it could be you're afraid of it, you don't like it, you just don't want to, but you could literally tap and discover for yourself that was something that came from your childhood. Like, it doesn't even have anything to do with right now. Yeah. So, emotional freedom technique is really, so children take to it much faster because they don't have all the baggage that we have, and they're releasing those emotional attachments much quicker than us. So, again, that's something we'll be teaching them this summer. So I'm excited about it. So, Erin, there's 1,000 more questions here that I could ask you. But you know, I know that we do have a time commitment to our audience. We like to keep it under 90 minutes for the sake of their time and their energy. So first of all, I just want to thank you again for your participation and your work with Master Force, and for being engaged with us. You know, for so many years. What is it, 5, 6 years now? It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And we have yet to physically meet.
I know.
Yeah, so that speaks volumes to who you become for us here in Chicago. Well, I'm not in Chicago anymore. I'm in Jackson, Tennessee. But who you become, I mean, and you're such like family. You know, it's like you are family. So I just really thank you, and I really appreciate the growth that I've seen. I believe is this your first, one of your first Ignite Your Soul connections?
No, I think I did 2 other ones before, but this is the first one I've done by myself, and this is the most comfortable I've felt in front of the camera. So I'm proud of myself. I
am too. And when I'm thinking of those 2, I think you had camera issues back then too, didn't you? Or something was going on. That was always.
I was on my cell phone.
You on your cell phone, yeah. So this is really great. So thank you. And again, I apologize to the audience for the technical difficulties we had before. And I want to invite you guys tomorrow evening. We're talking about the Tao of Parenting with Teresa Lugo and Nene Thompson. And we're looking at parenting as a spiritual path and really talking about how to get the benefit. Like, why in the world would the universe create parenting as a spiritual path? I mean, that's a journey in itself, right, Icha?
Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am, it is. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So, and for those of you, that was the last thing. Erin, you want to tell us what your offer is? Because I believe you do have an offer for people who are listening to tonight's session.
Yes. If you like to learn more about, I guess, where you are in life, want to learn more about your kids, or if you have any questions about anything that we've discussed, I do have a special offer. It is $50 for an intuitive reading, and it will be very, very detailed. Or you can get an intuitive reading plus a healing coaching session for $100. So you can contact me at paypal.me/ErinTamar, ErinTamar. And once you submit your payment, we can get started.
Very cool. And then your contact information we'll post to the site, and you'll be able to reach her. And again, you can always reach any of the coaches on themasterforce.com. So really great. So any last words for either of you before we sign off?
Wow. I would say gratitude. I'm saying with gratitude.
Okay. Thank you, Icha.
Thank you, Icha. Mm-hmm. I would say that just really taking all of this information. I know as a parent, it can be challenging to step into new territory or to do different things than what you're used to, what you grew up with, to change your parenting style. And a lot of these things will have you face things inside of yourself and will challenge you to grow within yourself. You know, children are here to be our teachers. So I would just say really take some time to sit with this information that we're giving you this week. And I really wish the best for you in your parenting with your child, and for the New Earth children themselves. I know you got this. I'm not worried about you.
We're trying to catch up, right? We trying to.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, just really, you know, it's really vital information, and it's really, beneficial to your happiness and your well-being and your relationship with your children. So, you know, take some time, meditate on it, and hopefully you'll put it to use.
Yeah. And what I would like to say to the community of listeners, you know, I really request that you support the coaches by accepting their offers and really testing them out, testing out their skills, and it will make a difference for you in your life, but it'll also make a difference for them in the work that we do here at Masterforce. It's a way of giving back to a community that has been giving to you for a long time now. So we look forward to you joining us again tomorrow and Friday. And until then, peace.
Peace.